Hello, y'all. Welcome to my first stream where I forget to turn on my mic. All right, so what I was saying to nobody was that today I'm going to be talking about HellRaiser, the one talking about HellRaiser, creating a one shot out of it. If you don't know what HellRaiser is, I'll give you a little bit of a backstory on it in a minute. I'm going to talk about how to make it into like a one shot, some of the monster creation like Pinhead, your top classics, the Chatterer, the Chatterbeast, the Twins. If you know what I'm talking about, great. If you don't, great. They're some OP monsters, but anything taken from the HellRaiser world will be pretty OP. So, what I have up right now is my HellRaiser outline. So, I haven't actually seen the HellRaiser movie. So, don't be too critical of me. But I got this inspiration from a guy in the campaign that in a campaign I'm currently a part of, to where we're all in this storybook world, almost, to where it's like a mishmash of like all the Disney like movies and all that, and then this guy just wanted to play HellRaiser, and then lo and behold, Hulu comes out with HellRaiser, and Disney owns Hulu, so therefore Pinhead is a Disney princess now. That's what we got. And so let's go over probably what HellRaiser is. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I got it right here. I'll be looking at that in a minute. The HellRaiser franchise started in 1987, directed by Clive Barker. He's I don't know who that is. But like I said, I've never seen these movies. I watched some reviews, and I watched like some, I don't know, I call them like quick clips or something like that. Gives you a rundown of the movie. And it covered HellRaiser all the way to like HellRaiser Revolutions, Judgment, something like that. And basically, all this sucks. All these suck. But first, like 3, 4, 5, from what I heard of from this guy, like they're like pretty good. They're like, your classic 1980s horror flicks. But like unlike anything the time had ever seen. So basically, we have this guy named Frank Cotton come in HellRaiser. He escapes from the Cenobites when his brother Larry, Andrew Robinson, spills his own blood on the spot where Frank died after opening the puzzle box. Now, this thing right here, the puzzle box, that's like a key item that has to be incorporated. We'll get to more of that. Calm down. All right, so the puzzle box that opened a gateway to the Cenobites with the help of Larry's wife, Julia, Claire Higgins. Right there. Frank begins regenerating his body with the blood of victims that Julia supplies. Larry's daughter, Christy, accidentally unleashes the Cenobites, but makes a deal to deliver Frank to them in exchange for her own life. After taking Frank's soul, the Cenobites still try to take Christy's soul as well. But solving the puzzle box, Kirsty sends the Cenobites back to hell. Now, I know some people are thinking like, well, how do you create this into a one shot or I guess you could incorporate this into an ongoing campaign to where you have you meet a guy named Frank Cotton. You know, I don't know. Like I didn't go with that route. I actually was like, I want to know more about the history. Let's look at that. So I'll tell you what I found out about the history. Basically, the puzzle box is called the Lament. It's like has the Lament configuration on it, and this guy named Layman Sean, he creates like these puzzle boxes. Turns out, in the history of this, he created hundreds of puzzle boxes scattered throughout the world. You find out about them, like you find them, like if you solve it, like takes like your blood to open it. So once it's solved, Cenobites come out, target the person that opened it, and that's kind of where I kind of strayed off of the lore to where I'd created a one shot to try and test this out and whatnot. But let's get into that and it'll kind of start making sense how I started creating this. And that's what I want this channel to be about is I want it to be about teaching, people how to like, just showing my take on it, my how I go about creating a one shot or creating something you can put into a campaign. You just find, you just latch onto something random like this and can go anywhere. So let's get over to back to the HellRaiser outline, and I'll show you how I kind of set up this outline because I went with I have a couple different ways to do it, but like the best advice I ever got was build the world, let your players play in that world, and kind of react to what they do. Plan out your NPCs as far as you need. Plan out, you know, what lives in the world, and kind of just learn who they are as people, or as much as you can, really. And if you're heavy on your improv, like you can get a name, like this dude Braylon. You know, who's this dude? No, who is Braylon? All I know about him is that what I got in the beginning was Braylon is what was he? Where was it? All over my notes. Okay, so Braylon's the painter. Jorf is like a bard. He plays the harp. And so, like, that's all I know about him. And these people are going to be dead in the one shot. So they're not going to have much dialogue, but no, both of them are like entertainers. And like Jorf, he always played at the inn, this new place. Braylon, he travels the world. He paints old ruins, things like that, because near this town is a ruin, and that's why he's here. But unluckily for him, Lou came along. So yeah. But I started out with going with a murder mystery type of thing. And I put the main objective is investigate disappearances, because that's, that's what make it pretty clear and cut to the players what's going down. And so these are the disappearances. I put them down, give a little bit of info on the side. Braylon went missing over a month ago. Dorf over 3 weeks ago. Rose 2 weeks. Lily 2 weeks. Lou 2 weeks. That's why I just put same there. And then here's the little backstory I was telling you about. Layman Sean gives Lily the puzzle box. Lily solves it with Lou, Rose, Lily taken, turned to Cenobites. Cenobites. So we'll get into that whenever we get to Monster Creek. Those are the basically in D&D or any tabletop game you'll play. That'll be like your devils, demons, things like that. But they're just, they're dead set on like they think like pain is pleasure kind of thing. And so Dr. Chenard, I put in here, Dr. Chenard finds a cube in the old temple. But I'm actually going to edit that right here, because after playing through it, I kind of learned like how else he could like get it. So I just put like a little notation here that might have Layman Sean. So he might have gotten it from Layman Sean, because Layman Sean, he's giving out these boxes to test them. And so starting off, the party receives a letter sent by the Venturers Guild. That's the Venturers Guild is a guild in my custom-made homebrew campaign world, where the Venturers Guild gives out quests, kind of like a those one people. What do they call them? Crap, I can't remember. Yeah, just leave it down in a comment below if you can. You know what I'm talking about. You know the thing. And so you got the mayor that comes in. It's a new town. It's less than like a year old. Like everything's still getting set up. Like just kind of, I just started building this to where Layman Sean kind of comes to town with very few people. Perfect place to do his experiments. And so the guards are inexperienced, and I put in here basically a little quote to kind of remember what to say to the adventurers, like, we need people skilled like yourselves. And so the people, and third thing to cover is the people who have went. I guess I'd put that all in quotation. The guards are inexperienced, and we need people skilled like yourselves. And in the future, I'm actually going to be going through in real time, creating a one shot for like the next one shot I'll do, and just creating monsters like we're going to be doing here. I'll be more like showcasing the ones I create, going more through the process. So All right. And so once I started building the world, I had, the mayor's house. Nothing gonna be going on there. But then I went through all the people, uh, Rose, Lily, Lou, Doctor Chenard, the people I've already mentioned, and kind of building around them. Where we start at, they don't have to start at these. I just put up a location, put the NPCs that's going to be in that location. That's important because I'm going for a murder mystery on this, and the number one advice I've gotten on murder mystery is if you put something in a room or something in a location, like it better have importance. And I learned that, I heard that advice, and then I still had to learn the hard way on one of my other murder mysteries where, you know, you tell them that there's a candle in the room, that lights the room, and it's like they just got stuck on this candle. It's ridiculous. But we got Rose's house. There's no NPCs, so she, her story in my head is she has lives alone, but we'll go through the note clues. All right, so the kind of note clues is like she has a secret sex room, diary telling her and the jesters affairs, as well as their meeting place for their meet with the flower. And, to me, I know what I'm talking about here. But if I was to put this up to let y'all like test this out, y'all like it, let me know. So the jester, who's the jester? Well, that's Lou. Because Lou is he's a actor, and he actually comes from the HellRaiser lore. And he's not in the movies, but I found him very interesting. He's basically like the doppelganger of Cenobites, but so much better in my opinion. I'll get to him. So, and who is the flower? Well, that is Lily. Who would have guessed? But you can kind of tell that this diary is in code. And if you were to, you just start thinking kind of like you have to start working backwards with your kind of in the creation process. So actually I had to kind of start from Layman Sean's house because that's kind of the one that you want them to go to last, but they don't have to. And so on to the old temple. This is where I expected them to run into the chattering chatterer no chattering, yeah, that's right, chattering beast. That's the beast from the movies that looks like a dog on steroids with a crocodile mouth, and it's just a horrific looking creature. Let me see if I can. Oh, wait. Hmm. Hold up. Yeah, I'd find it quick. Pop off. Ah, found the right wiki this time. All right. So we have the Chatterer Beast. This is what this sick dog looks like. Hope there's nothing on here that's too bad for old YouTube. Because I'm pretty sure I saw this all through the YouTube things I went through. But yeah, these are some of the things they'll be dealing with. This is the Chatterer. This is torso. All he is torso and two. I haven't made him yet. All right. Let's pop back over here. So yeah, there's an old temple in town. I kind of expect them to run into the Chattering Beast here. Inside one of the fountain rooms is a setup of sheets with blood on the altar like area. A blue ribbon will be found there. Puzzle box. All right, so you kind of start to see like these really don't go together. Like, how would they get to the old temple? Let's explain here. Let's get through these. Lily's house. The NPC there is Frog. Let me put a little quote here. Husband. Because she was happily married. Yeah. Yep. All right. So, like, she has multiple sets of ribbons, and the blue one has only one ribbon with the red pair missing. This is important. This comes for whenever they find out, like, if they've been turned into Cenobites or not. Brock will not be of much help, but talks about how Lou is creepy and seemed jealous of Braylon's. All right. Dr. Chenard. In the one shot, I kind of had to make them run into Dr. Chenard, but it didn't have to be ran into. But he has like some good information. He knows the affairs between Lou and Lily, but not the one with Rose. Lou has been coming to him for embalming and preservation materials. The doctor has been overcharging Lou for materials. Lou and a puzzle box can also be found. Lockbox. So, and that's kind of what I was thinking. Like maybe Dr. Chenard could either find the puzzle lockbox in the old temple, and I could have this all set up on a time frame, kind of in my head to where like, all right, he'll do it. You know, if he was to get it from there, it'd be at this amount of time. This is where players' decisions can start really making a difference into the game. Where if they go to Dr. Chenard's office first, they could stop him from getting the puzzle box if put it there to where he got it from there. Going and looking for Lou because he has money or something. You have you could have it to where you find the puzzle box and it hasn't been solved at all, and so this makes a difference in the sense of in the one shot you kind of have to speed everything up because the whole Cenobites thing, it's supposed to take like several years for them to become Cenobites. um, from according to the lore. But you could just easily say, in hell, it's hundreds of years, to where up on the material plane, it's just a few minutes up here is 100 years down in hell. So you could always do that, like every other movie does. Especially like Supernatural. And so yeah, you can find the puzzle box. You make it to where he doesn't turn into a Cenobite at all. That's one less for them to fight or anything. At the end of all this, go on to, when they lose house, the NPCs, quote unquote, will be there. They'll be dead. This is where maybe a lot of stuff will start coming together. They'll find a secret cellar where they will find 2 masks and gloves made of flesh with Jorf's harp and Braylon's painter's corpses still rotting in makeshift coffins. So I put a little caveat on here if anybody's a cleric, speak with the dead, to where Braylon will talk about his death, longing to paint. He was out near the old temple. So, and here I was going to have it to where he saw his attacker attacked by who? And then Jorf, he was killed behind the pub after one of his shows, and remembers Lou talking about solving a puzzle, Lily. But he wouldn't know. And then I'll skip Layman Sean's going down to the pub. I put a pub in here because, adventures in their tavern. So, but I made Henry the barkeep. Dude has a twin brother made up on the fly. And because one of them was Ick, one of them was kind of nice. Kind of. But the pub is where Braylon and Jorf's temporary residence was. Party goes snooping around there. They'll find a love letter from Rose, Braylon. So now together with have Rose. She's saying she will extend in marriage her young and wild days close. They got Lou, Lily, Rose. They're having this crazy affair behind Lily, like everybody's back. And Dr. Chenard knows about it. He's getting over on Lou. And you have Lou, he's really crazy. Oh, I forgot to say this. But yeah, with Lou, faces off of his victims and like hands, because he's an actor, kind of can start adding your tells into here with the like of acting masks up in the top of his hat, and you put these like these ways to find clues. I didn't put any of these behind checks. All the party had to do was tell me where they're looking. And, you know, if somebody doesn't know exactly what to say, what to do, they can use a check, and the DC might be just a 10, just to be like, or, you know, put on a gradient scale of, like, if even if they roll a 1, like, you know, they go looking around in every area, every other area, but the area you want them to, you know, you need them to find to kind of move the story along. Yeah, so like you see all this stuff start coming together. They, and if they do end up going to Layman Sean's house before these other clues, let's get to there real quick. You got Layman Sean's house. There's no NPCs here. It will appear rummaged and cleared of several things, but his clothes are packed and still on the bed. The info on the cubes are portals, another plane of existence that yet to be discovered, but yet imprisonment device. Thinks it's an imprisonment device. He thinks he like captured these things. Maybe that's what the party will think. His first test subject, Lily, is on something terrible going wrong. He's scared for his life. The cubes are, and you'll like I put in there like a note to where it'd be like he was like writing this down in his notes like crazy fast. The cubes are supposed to be a focus to whoever solves them, or the sole target. Like whoever solves them are the sole targets. But I was all wrong. And if they come around here first and they find this stuff, they'll know to go see what's Lily. They'll find another puzzle box found with the papers, and so like other thing I kind of incorporated was I started having some of these puzzle box solved part of the way. I actually have 3 different systems that I like planned on using, and on how it was going, how far I'd want, like which system I wanted to use. I knew it was going to be a D6 system with my first one was to line up cube. You have 6 sides, so you would roll, you know, first you'd roll an intelligence check. And for this is something you want to guard, put it to a DC 20, because you can give them an intelligence check every hour. Figure this out. They'll eventually hit a 20, especially if you got a wizard there with like a. I did this on level 5 party, but yeah, intelligence check DC 20, and then once they pass that, then they got 3 die 6 to roll. 6 each 6 rolled a solved side. In the one shot, did this on level 5 characters. So I had them roll the 3d6. You know, depending on how you want to ratchet tension, I had to go with them just solving, getting 3 6. But Um, how I'd probably implement it campaign for like higher levels. For sure, it'd be like get 6 6s. It kind of represents each side getting solved. And they had the D6 system, intelligence checks. Once they solved, like, had to do this kind of on the fly, but I did um 2d6. Like, once they rolled the dice 3 times, whether they solved any or not, 4 dice. Now, how do you get it to where they one right after another non-combat kind of situation? Um, that's why there's multiple cubes, because I could kind of just swap which kind of cube it would be fight, and that may seem sneaky, but I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, they got their 4d6 after 3 attempts. They, I got I think 1 or 2 of them in their death saves from these monsters. Yeah, working backwards from all this, kind of started with the idea of, like, all right, you have HellRaiser, you have to solve the puzzle box, and then the things come after them. So if you were to run it like that, I would say, and you want them to come after the adventures, the adventures kind of just snooping around in this area, so they're gonna get attacked. But I just made it to where, yeah, like they get their souls or their things they're after, and they stick around because the portal's still open. And but they could go to Layman Sean's house first. They then go over to the temple. Then they could go to Rose's. They'd slowly build up this information, and once they or like once they're to this point of they're done investigating all these areas, most of these areas, to get the info from to go tell like the mayor what's going on, then you kind of just introduce the monster. And that's where I worked back from. I have monsters. I want them to fight. I want them to like be the ones to solve these puzzle cubes to in this final fight to stow them away. So yeah. So yeah. Have all them. Let's get on to this. Oh, which one? There's actually a couple tools I use. This thing, StatBlock Generator. It has a ton of monster presets you can use. Or if you're trying to create like your own homebrew monsters, this thing makes it. I actually based Pinhead off of a chain devil, CR11, but I wanted him to Pinhead. Dude's a CR19, and again, I use these on level 5 characters. Just kind of know how to use these on lower level characters, which I'll go over. And you can already kind of see what I have going on with him with Pinhead here. Is I brought in his quotes. He has a bunch of quotes from that people watch Pinhead and or if they watched HellRaiser, they'd like know these quotes. It was because of that one guy in one campaign I'm in. I wanted to bring these quotes in and be a part of Pinhead's stat block. But starting up from the top here, like I kept these abilities real basic. Strength, like he's devil, he's pretty strong. Dexterity, whatever. Constitution, he's devil, he's not gonna die. Much constitution. Intelligence, he's above average, like super intelligent, more in for the pain and pleasure of things. Charisma, he has a certain way that could be persuasive to some. Kind of what I was thinking of it as. That's what I put his saving throws as, was strength and charisma. His skills wouldn't play too much into it unless the party wanted to try and reason, which Pinhead, kind of can be reasoned with in the movies, but ultimately he like wants your soul. That's it. Damage resistances, all the classics from a devil: cold, bludgeoning, piercing, slashing from magical. Damage immunities, fire, poison. So I gave him true sight, gave him the languages, magic resistance. Here's where I kind of broke it. Teleport. And off. But Pinhead magically teleports along with any equipment it is wearing or carrying up to 90 feet to an unoccupied space. Most teleportation, it has to be a spot monster can see or the creature can see. I kind of just monster can see or the creature can see. I kind of just monster can see or the creature can see. I kind of just all right. Give me a monster can see or the creature can see. I kind of just all right. Give me some dumbasses. Some kind of bot in chat. Monster can see, or the creature can see. All right. Give me some dumbasses. So yeah, bot in chat. Some stupid shit in chat. All right. Give me some dumbasses. So yeah, bot in chat. Gotta learn how to block these things. Stupid shit in chat. Oh. All right. Some dumbasses. All right, let's get back. Yeah, bot in chat. Gotta learn how to block these things. Stupid shit in chat. Oh. Fables. All right, so like I was saying, the teleport I broke completely. He's Pinhead. He can go anywhere he wants. And under some of his abilities, you know, his famous quote, "I cannot die, am forever." When an attack that would bring Pinhead to 0 HP, this ability is activated and restores Pinhead to full HP. This ability can only be once per long rest. Why didn't I just double his health? Because I wanted him to have this quote. Under some of his abilities, his HP, you know, the only 210. His first CR, I cannot die, 19, am forever. Come on over here to a Baylor. When an attack that would bring Pinhead to 0 HP pulled up. They sit at this 262 and restores Pinhead to full challenge 9. This ability can only be but once per long rest. Dungeon Master's Guide. I just double his. They have this nice little section. By the way, I own this book. The only 210. So his first CR, I cannot die, 19, am forever. I use this little pulled up PDF finder so I could display it here on the internet, here on YouTube. This ability thingy. But once per long rest. Let me see. Guide. Right here, you got monster statistics. Nice little section. By the way, I own this book, so I kind of just started off with building him. Came up with 19. I used this was right here, bottom PDF finder, so I could display it here on the internet, here on YouTube. Thingy. But let me see. Right here, you got monster statistics. Nice little section. Right. That's in screen. All right, so right here you have their proficiency bonus +6. Came up with AC 19. HP from 341 to 350 PDF finder. So I could display it here on the internet, here on YouTube. HP hits into the CR21 range. Let's see. Everything else here. You got monster statistics. 19. That's in screen. All right, down to a 6. Yeah, HP, their proficiency bonus, CR26. So in the middle there is 19. HP from 341 to his C for his attacks into the CR21 range. Everything else here. DC 19, it's right up there on top of 20. And 19, like from 17, CR. So in the middle there is 19. HP from 341 to his C for his attacks into the CR21 range. Everything else here. DC 19, it's right up there on. I'm curious about what top of 20 and 19, like from 17, CR. Oh, in the middle. God, just sitting there listening to myself. Get out of here. Exited that. First stream problems. Full of them. All right, so that's how I got that. And his like plus, and this is plus to hit. This is the damage output. These are known as defensive stats and offensive stats. So they break it up into that so you can kind of find that average. But that's how I got 19. Based off of his HP, his armor class, proficiency bonus, attack bonus sets at a plus 11 to hit. And his plus 11 is based off of his strength. Because, like, the only outright attack he does is his chain attack. The only one that's a attack, but it still doesn't do any damage, is the "You must come with us, taste our pleasures." Target a creature within 60 feet. Chain shoots up from the ground, and notice one creature within 60 feet. Pinhead does not need to see this creature. So, you know, you got somebody behind cover, and a chain pops out, grabs this guy, like pops out of the ground, grabs him, and then just starts dragging him along the ground every 15 feet towards Pinhead. And then has to make a strength, athletics, or dexterity acrobatics. Escape from the grapple. On each of Pinhead's consecutive turns, the creature is dragged 50 Pinhead. This doesn't put Pinhead out to where he can't like moves. So he can deal with everybody else. He has reaction. This is similar to like the Mummy Lord Terrifying Gaze. It's pain has a face. Show it to you. And when a creature Pinhead can see starts its turn within 30 feet of Pinhead, Pinhead can create the illusion that it looks like departed loved ones or bitter enemies. If the creature can see Pinhead, must succeed on a wisdom save. Frightened. And he has his legendary actions. I threw in his other quotes here. We have such sights to show you. One creature with feet, another fear. Like, but this is a paralyzed with fear. So it can stop somebody. Because with these monsters, I was not going, oh, you know, scare these people with massive damage. I don't want to scare like just spike damage to knock them out. That's actually kind of where the chatter, which we'll get to them tonight, but maybe not any of them. Already coming up on 9:55. Ooh, want me to go over these? Leave a comment. I'll be checking my comment for these videos. Love to hear from. All right, so then we got the next. Will tear your soul apart. This is kind of like Pinhead's call to action that allows 3 of his half of their speed, 1 attack. So this is where his damage kind of from, because his damage output is like only like 19. He has 2 attacks with his chain, so that's less than 40 damage. He can create a bunch of chains, deals more in effects and debilitate those around. And then another quote from him. Oh, the suffering. Sweet, sweet suffering. I'll admit, this one, I wanted to use it, but I wasn't sure how I wanted to. But I just put, if one of Pinhead's allies successfully lands attack on a creature, then Pinhead can use this act to grant advantage to himself or another Cenobite within 6 feet there on their next attack. So giving advantage to and Snowball. So you may actually, I probably would change that within 6. Maybe even just turn this into a, so he has to on those and it burns a reaction. But this is all part of the monster process of how, like, counter building does not stop like before the game. You're constantly building and modifying your. Then you have the I went with a layer and regional effect Pinhead in his layer actions and and basically wherever Pinhead pops up, all area, it says right here. When fighting inside its layer, Pinhead can invoke magic on initiative count 20. That means is it's on 20, then they'll go first. Layer action. Pinhead can one layer action. It causes the following: moves and shifts speed of your enemy. Calls up to 5 foot by horizontally and or vertically as you please. If you want to take a character and move them 6 their area. If you want to up into the plane to, a smashing effect, you can. If you want to drop them down 60 feet and put them in a pit, you can. I wouldn't suggest that. Once you take players out of fights, it's not really fun for me. It's not really fun for them. I like to have them in there fighting these creatures. But you can do that to definitely. And they just make a DC 18 deck or be knocked prone. So whenever this happens, you can kind of choose the effect of whenever are you just want to knock the person prone? Boom, you knock. You can do that. And if you want to, basically, if they fail this check, knock prone, how do I calculate when I smash them into the ceiling? Probably just say damage, however many feet the thing had to full 60 feet. That's right there is a 66. And of course, Pinhead can't beat an effect until they can't use the same effect round. So this is the effect he has, so he can't use it. Regional effects include region containing solved puzzle box warped by the creature. Creates one or more of the following: 1 mile radius, where the puzzle box is opened. Everything seems normal, but at the time, cause the area to shift and warp, covering all surfaces, brimstone, warping the terrain in twisted. I put such effects in shifting the terrain up and down, sea or pits, so if they fall in, phase like structure to confuse fear and chains to form over surfaces and or hang from ceilings, skies, pools and streams of lava. Pinhead dies, effects fade immediately. Let's get into this real quick. Stat block. All the options. As your override, the armor, put in the hit dice. Things that affect the hit dice is the size and what I think is the type as well. See, like if I change just up 20d8. I think it's just the size. So if we change the size, 20d12. Said anything about time. Have a force, chaotic evil, nothing lost. Nothing good. Just chaotic evil. I put his speed at 20 because of his teleprotection. Movies always never run. So for him to just be walking kind of zap out of existence, pop up behind you, can definitely be for good narrative. Again, his ability score. These are super. But this is for you to create a monster. Really build out. You're creating, if you want to make a home, something, don't want to go into all this. Plenty of time. Where you just create a menu, give them back AC, attack, certain die roll. Kind of taken from the Dungeon Master Guide, but on some monsters, I'll just take that variant roll that instead of using a proficient +3, like a D6, and proficient. Some monsters add on to their attack what level they are. Because the D6 is for a +3, so if you're trying to also I'd just move that you and you have all the sites down. Game truce, which actually less typical. This is the Baylor. He has a truth. Can't see that. Uh, they tend to have telepathy, magic resistance. But yeah, down here is where you create like the. It has all this stuff for you to. Well, there actually says the pinhead, so kind of messes up the text some areas, but I already have this. That's what all these are. You can save the stat block and load the stat later. Save the stat. So you get back. You can put this down in the description for the stat. But you can also make a printable block, do the image, print it that way. So this is better. Here's the Chatterer. AC 17. Now their hit points, drop them, but he's still a challenge rating 50. Got the save. This is yeah. So with him, he was a bit more simple, but I put his teleport to be, but it can only 60 feet. Hell's right hand. Chatter gets strength saves and grapple check. Of course, multi attack, but he has only one attack called Hand of Pain. This guy does spike damage, where plus 12 to hit, strength's at 24. One target. So yeah, basically punches you on hit. Chatter can force the creature or con save. Strength on fail, the creature is prone. So this is a real party stopper. I don't know what to call it. Stops the players in their where I knows that half of your up take. So I homebrews. It's like a base 10 or speed to like get up. 15 usually covers half typically, so costs 10 movements. But on con, if Shatter forces on fail the creature, and kind of a bit of a control freak where it's chattering, like I heard the sound chattering this, but like every creature within 30 feet must make a DC Wisdom save. Fail the creature prone. All saving throw. Yeah, that's just Chatterer. All of these Cenobites tend to work off of each. And because they're in the movie, they're also in Lovers. I just all right. So you got the twins. Basically, these are two people that they're not conjoined. They're always around. Stay within. But I play them as one monster. They have a with them blind side. Eyes are they're blind beyond. Uh, they have a they have a they have expert because called their type harm and harm. Anybody's ever played Curse of this creature charms you, but the way it's worded is and get around the charm effects abilities of, but sometimes that that's kind of like just throwing the players over. That's why I would just keep it to the they would still be able to withstand this effect, but they get this ability where called pleasure and pain. Creature first sees the twin. They must succeed on a D18. Charm effect can last up to 1. The creature views the twins lovers and will allow the twins to approach threat whenever the harm the charm time. If anyone tries to harm twins, harmed creature succeed on a save or save throw themselves in front of the attack. Whenever multiple creatures charm effect, twins are within 5 feet of other creatures, then on that creature's other wisdom or go into a make one attack So I kind of cover that double team. They have advantage of grappling, and they teleport 30 feet. Multi attack, piercing tongue. Their main thing is just charming the get up close to them. So yeah, that was me going over the one shot. Some of the tools I use. I do use the Dungeon Master Guide to base the CR, but whenever you start getting in, will completely screw the players over. More challenge. You know what CR to really put them at, but that's why they have this. Still kind of makes it, players of 5th level have a good chance, have a chance of beating a 13, 15. And you always want to find maybe like this generator. Get a badger. Badgers are real simple, but if we wanted to make them big, make them large, make a large badger. Moves up their hit dice. That up a couple times. Challenge rating. You have a large badger. And to change its attacks around, you have these presets. So like they have all the create an assassinate ability during its first turn, has advantage on attack rolls against any creature that hasn't. And then you can use show formatting help to see what you need to put in there, what it does. So like to make something calculate a wisdom save based off wanted them monster's wisdom, you would put is base save. Calculates monster. Same with strength. So yeah, that's what I got for you tonight. And if anybody found this helpful, make sure you leave a comment down below. Let YouTube know suck, how much I rock, all that good stuff. Y'all have a great night. I'll be back next Sunday, 9 p.m., same time, same place.